Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Luminous coming guys with a pro to the commentary. This is commentary 331. I'm currently in a casting marathon. Until I get to my 350 commentary, I will be uploading one video per day onto my YouTube channel. So some of it's going to be commentaries, some of it's going to be pubbing with Lumies, some of it's going to be top fives and all the other various projects I have. But until I hit that 350 commentary mark, I will be uploading one video per day. So if you haven't followed me on YouTube yet, daily Dota content coming your way. This is a replay from the Star Series LAN Finals. I am not sure exactly which stage of the tournament we are in right now, but this is the GDB team and Navi's 3-game series, game number 1. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to cast the whole series either. Please let me know in the comment section below whether specific games of the series are going to be good or specific games of the entire tournament are good. Let me know which are the good games and I will gladly bring them to you. Put it in the comment section. Alright, so you guys know who the Navi team is. Don't need any introduction. GDB team, some of you guys have not heard about. If you look at the players, KuroKy, Black, Sing Sing, Alex, and Bamboo, you guys know are from Mousesport, or at least formerly known from Mousesport. So here's a quick synopsis of how they became the GDB team. GDB team stands for the GD Bear team, I believe, as in B-E-A-R. At least I think that's what it stands for. Mousesport has refused to send these guys to the LAN they qualify for, or has stopped their sponsorship. Whatever the issue might be, these guys couldn't go. So GD Studios, who is owned by James Harding, which also is the host of TI2, alongside Gods, Statman Bruno, and Nebula. That's the guy who just forked out money from his pocket. I do believe it's summed up to 2,000 euros, 2,500 euros. You'd be like, guys, you're going to this LAN event that you qualify for. I'm paying the tickets. And I'm not sure if now these guys are on James Harding's team, GD Studios, or I don't know if this is like a one-time thing or they now are their official team. Whatever the case might be, they are competing under the tags of GD Beer or GDB team, and I'm gonna call them GD for the remainder of this cast. So I gotta just say, taking out that chunk of money from your own pocket to forward Dota to make sure that Mousesport, or the formerly known Mousesport, one of the more entertaining team, to make sure they get to play. I mean, good guy James. That's all I could say. I hope there's more people like that in the Dota scene. But for now, let's go into the pick and ban. So GD on the Radiant side with the first pick and ban. They have banned out Leshrac and Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, the Dire Navi has been banning out Wisp and Undying. If you guys have not been following my recent commentaries, which you should, and if you guys have not been following the recent kind of big games, Undying and overall Tri-Lanes has become a huge factor in how pro games are played nowadays. So Undying ban way early is no surprise, and neither of course is Pudge being picked up here a surprise if you're a fan of Navi. Dendi most likely will be playing Pudge. I gotta know this though. Dendi has a Pikachu tag, and if you guys know me, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so I'm already rooting for Dendi because he got that Pokemon avatar going on. But let's talk about the Darkseer, Jakiro, and Chen, which is going to be GD's pickup here. KuroKy will be drafting here, and there's a lot of AoE and early game push already from GD. They have already powerful lanes. Darkseer on the long lane, we know what he can do, and a pushing combination of Chen, Jakiro, plus whoever else, it could be a Juggernaut. It is going to be absolutely insane. But meanwhile, we're back in the second stage of ban. We're moving very quickly already. Anti-Mage and the Panda being banned out here by Navi. Meanwhile, the Gondor as well as Chaos Knight being banned out by GD. Navi, of course, opening up with the Batrider, Pudge, and Shadow Shaman. So they got some of their mid-game push as well. This is really much so a mid-game Navi lineup. Batrider has some decent lane control, but he really will contribute once he hits about level 6, 7, and once he is working towards that Blink Dagger, especially after he finishes Blink Dagger. Pudge at least needs level 6, really wants 8 or 9 to be truly effective, and of course Shadow Shaman wants level 6 as well. So right now, up to GD, at least from the first 3 picks, it's up to them to get some early game harassment against the enemy towers. If they could knock down a couple of towers early on, they could really build themselves up to a very powerful mid game. Because once the mid game happens, Navi is going to be picking people left and right. Blink Dagger, Batrider, as well as Pudge Hook, then these Pudge Hooks, nonetheless. It's going to be picking up people, and to be honest, heroes like Jakiro as well as Chen, they're pretty clunky, they're very slow. They might be tanky or have effective HP through heals and whatnot, but if you're hooked, you're dead. And of course, Navi will be banning out Juggernaut. Seeing that the Juggernaut as well as Shakiro combination has been fairly popular nowadays, and with Chen coming out of jungle, it's pretty big deal. So if you guys have not seen any big games since TI2, looking at how the metagame has shifting right now, it's actually, it brings a smile to my face, because if you compare to at least, I guess 2-3 years ago, let's say if you compare back to 2010 Dota 1, where you had about 20 heroes and a very stagnating metagame. Right now in Dota 2, the metagame has been shifting weeks after weeks after weeks, with new heroes being introduced, with new strategy being found out, and with new heroes being tried out. So, hey, I'm very happy. Now, despite me saying that, we see very commonly picked hero here as we add Tidehunter and Windrunner to the pool so far. But, you know, looking pretty good is this draft here. I like both of these teams. I'm not sure whether I like Tidehunter from GD. Tidehunter is one of those heroes that doesn't offer you too much in terms of the early get-go. He wants level 6 to be effective. He's a decent laner in the fact that he does have Anchor Smash, especially if he has solo. He's a decent early game killer, but not really a Juggernaut as not the hero, but Juggernaut as like a powerhouse killer or pusher in his own right. So I'm very curious. Maybe GD is going to be going for a little bit more early game pressure into mid-game teamfight, as now that they do have Macropyre, Darkseer, Vacuum, as well as Tidehunter. Oh, and Gyrocopter is going to be picked here. Gyrocopter, very popular hero lately. We do see Team Roots Korea been piloting a lot. Let's see how the Radiant team here, GD, will be playing it. Black, of course, the farmer is going to be playing that. But meanwhile, on Navi squad, they're going with what they know works best. Havos going to be playing Faceless Void. Light of Heaven, of course, on the Windrunner. Pudge going to be handled by Dendi. We have Arzark going to be playing the Shadow Shaman, and finally Puppey is going to be playing the Bat Rider. Now Puppey generally doesn't go mid, so this makes me think this is going to be more of a Bat jungle lineup. He's buying stuff. He spot the chicken, so he's definitely going to be jungling it up. So jungle Bat in the highest level of play. We'll see how it works out. And of course, being this is a replay cast, I could fast forward to wherever I want to fast forward. Alright, on the Radiant side, we have Chen being handled by, oh my goodness. On Chen, we got being handled by, is that KuroKy playing Chen? Are we? Yeah, KuroKy's going to be playing Chen. KuroKy, one of those players that's been basically known as playing the semi-carries, sometimes long lane, most of the time solo mid, but this time on a role that I've rarely seen him play. I remember I seen him play one Dazzle game, like a support Dazzle on a 4-row, something like that. First time ever I'm seeing KuroKy playing on the 5th support, so I'm looking forward to see how he's going to do here. Sing Sing, of course, is going to be going on the mid lane here as Tidehunter. Bamboo, top lane specialist for GD Bear, is going to be going up top, of course, with Darkseer. And the bot lane here is going to be Alex playing the Jakiro, and finally we have Black, like I talked about earlier, going to be playing the Gyrocopter, or Gyrocopter, however you pronounce that. Puppey just walking in like he owns his place, because he does. He's not really afraid of being ganked, considering that he does have Firefly, and ooh, look at this, no more ancient stacking for you, and using early level Firefly wouldn't matter at all, because he is not going to be limited by mana as his jungle. As you guys know, Bat Rider, if he's jungling, he will be using a lot of stacking, and once he hits level 2, he will be using Sticky Napalm and try to kill them all with the Firefly. But early game, it's about a lot of pulling, a lot of stacking. You can pull this level 1 camp here, or excuse me, you could stack this level 1 camp, pull it over here, and then get a quick level 2, and then start to do, you know, Sticky Napalm shenanigans. So in terms of lane here, I do like the fact that, of course, we have the Pudge on the mid lane. Now, Pudge versus Tidehunter as a kind of a versus against each other, I think both is going to be fine. Anchor Smash is very good against most melee heroes, simply because it's a great lasting mechanism, and the minus damage against other melee heroes, considering that you're always tanking it, that's insane. Look, he's already hitting for only 40 damage once the Anchor Smash is applied to him. So I'm going to say that Sing Sing should have the advantage in this lane, and it's going to be very difficult for Dendi to actually get a kill because how tanky that Tidehunter is. So yeah, I think that Sing Sing is going to have the advantage. It comes down to the support rune control being granted here by the other members of the Navi squad, and I think Dendi, he's going to just chill here until he gets level 5, perhaps level 6, and it's going to start ganking around. You can see that he's having a lot of trouble lasting it in. So for Gyrocopter though, on the bot lane being handled by Black, it's going to have no trouble lasting around. You can see that he's already got 5, denying like crazy. My mouse is just going all over the place right now. Another pile's happening right now, but of course, replay cast. We can skip all of that. Alright, let's look at what item we're going to go for here for Gyrocopter. Now, Ring of Ring of Protection start here for Gyrocopter could mean two things. It could be upgrading a Ring of Basace and using it for a push later on, or it could definitely mean a Trango Boots, which has been a very, very popular boot choice as of late, or at least for many months now. And since the introduction of Trango Boots, a lot of people said it's, you know, very, very poor boot choice, but yeah, it's one of the more popular boot choice. We've seen it on carries, we've seen it on supports, and it's just good. It's just good. Meanwhile here, Dendi still having a very, very tough time. He does have 2 self, and of course 1 more tango left, so he should be okay. But Sing Sing very much so dominating lane. But here comes Chen already backstabbing with a Wildcat. Not exactly the best ganking creep here. We do have, I think, magic, or the missile already hitting, the homing missile hitting. And Light of Heaven, I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Here we go. They're going to be diving in against Light of Heaven. And here comes Wildcat. There's going to be Ice Path Rocket coming in right now. The right click coming in. Nice body blocking by KuroKy. Does he have the Test of Faith? I'm sure he does. There's a Test of Faith, and it's going to be a First Blood being taken by Chen. Very, very well played here. I'm pretty sure Black would have loved to have that, but, you know, getting the First Blood is very, very huge. Meanwhile, back in the middle here, a lot more harass. Dendi being forced back here. On the top lane, how are we doing in this particular lane? Bamboo, very, very far back. Has at least level 2, so should be mostly fine. Access into Surge is so important for his early game survivability, and he will have Iron Shell, or at least harassing the bejesus out of Havos. Havos only a healing salve left, and he is going to be burning that very, very quickly. Has an early quick boot choice here. A lot of times when you see a Void having relatively free farm, most of the time, as we see Arzar, you gotta be careful, he's tanking a lot of creeps. Tanked about 100 and 150 damage or so, not too big of a deal, but you know, it's a tango usage and whatnot. A lot of times when we see a free farm Void, what we generally see is a Midas rush, but it seems like he's not rushing to Midas, nor is he really rushing for a, ooh, nice Ethershot KS, nor is he rushing for a Battle Fury, so just good old boots. It's not exactly a greedy build. I actually want to see Havos being a little bit more greedy, but Havos is one of those carry players that like to contribute very, very much so early on for his team. So having the early boots and of course the upgrade into treads will be very, very vital for him if he decides to play that playstyle. Sing Sing on the mid lane here should be fine, although there's a Batrider looming overhead, and here we go, there's going to be Gush overhead. Here, Sing Sing down to about half HP, the hook comes in right now, then they should get the First Blood, and he does survive with 27 HP to tell the tale. When I said First Blood, I meant Second Blood, and of course, First Blood happened right there. So like I said previously, if Dendi don't receive any ganks, he's going to have a tough time, but Puppey coming out of jungle here, doing a very, very good job. I also love the choice of him getting a Flame Break early on. Flame Break is a very, very important part of early game killing, especially when you're not too fast, especially when you don't have things like a Blink Dagger up. The Flame Break, sending them forward and pushing them back towards you, is a very, very important part of a Batrider play. Using the hook, of course, to get a little bit of mana. Sing Sing's just looking for the Gush kill. No, oh, he's got to be careful. Puppey coming around, starting to stack the Napalm. Of course, Sing Sing does not have the magic stick yet. Bottle gets delivered. Oh, Dendi grabs himself a full bottle as well as a regen rune. Very, very well done, and he is going to be off to the gank path. Of course, that gank put himself to a level 6. Now, Tidehunter, I think he could still survive this, but he's got to be somewhat careful now. Generally, when you're playing Tidehunter against a ranged hero, you put that extra point into Kraken Shell, but feeling that he is in the harasser, he is a controller in terms of a lane. No points in Kraken Shell, opting for a little bit more Gush and a little bit more harassment power. But the Kraken Shell is going to be very important because it will debuff you from Dismember. Hook comes in right now. Look at that hook. He dismembers, but canceling quickly because he does see KuroKy comes in right now. The Stomp will hit. Does he have the mana to do so? Deny attempt? No deny attempt. KuroKy being at the correct place at the right time. Good hook here from Dendi. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize that, and now Sing Sing back in the driver's seat in this particular lane. Good roam here by KuroKy, getting 2 kills for his team so far. But let's quickly check out how we're doing in terms of last hit. 29 here, 34 to Void, and Black falling a tiny bit behind. I wonder how that's even happening. Winrun doing a fairly decent job in terms of putting herself in a position to grab levels. Already level 4.5. I think he's beating Bamboo. How's Bamboo doing? No, Bamboo right there, also 4.5 right now, but Bamboo's got to be very, very careful. Once Void hits level 6, he will be able to kill you, and he's just one creep away, especially with the help of Arzar here. Arzar has quite a bit of nuke damage as well as disabling power, so yeah, Bamboo's got to be very, very careful in terms of where he trek. Meanwhile, on the enemy side, I don't think that's going to be especially the same here. Light of Heaven's going to take a little bit of rocket harass from that homing missile, but for the most part, oh my goodness, look at this build. I have not looked at it, but I will look at it later. Seems like we have a little bit of roaming action. Here we go. Arzar is going to come on the top lane here. Darkshire should be fine. Despite being out of mana, he will juke to the correct place, but he's going to be scouted about at least by this courier, so they will know Bamboo's here. He will have mana from the Soul Ring, and we should be able to surge back out. But look at the build here as the dive happening here against Light of Heaven. The rockets will be dodged. Light of Heaven, power shot, it's gonna hit, and looks like these two are gonna be trading. We have power shot cooldown south. It's gonna be used. No mana for the last power shot. Back in the mid lane here. Dive happening against Dendi. Dendi got pulled off. Probably to a Gush, Ice Path, as well as a lot of Chen creeps here. If you look at Black's skill build, he's putting multiple points into stats. What is this? Burning anti-mage build? He's like, well, you know what? I just want the extra HP, extra damage. I don't really have a killing opportunity against Windrunner, simply because she has Windrun and whatnot, and the Rocket Harass. One level of it is just good enough, simply for the stun. So, yeah, very, very good and interesting skill build choice here from Black, and he's doing quite alright, at least harassing a little bit out of Windrunner. Should drop a rocket right about here, and I don't think Windrunner knows. He does. Somehow he saw that one coming, and she should be fine. Very good map awareness for Light of Heaven. He will take a lot of rocket damage. I think he's going to go all the way back to base. Oh, nice here. Getting 24 go as a party gift. That's Light of Heaven's going to go all the way back to base. But yes, Black doing a very excellent job. Not only is he's not leading in terms of farm compared to, let's say, the Void in this particular case, down by 8 creep kills. But I really like his laning a little bit more, as we do see Hook missing, I do believe, in the mid lane here. Sing Sing comes in right now. It's going to get Flaming Lasso. The Ice Path will hit on Sing. A nice push back here. Tower already doing a little bit of slight damage against Sing, but should be fine. Sing Sing so tanky here on that solo mid-tie hunter. I like the fact that what Black is doing right now, that the Volson's not really doing, is that he's lane controlling against a Windrunner by himself. It's really hard to lane control against a Darkseer, which this is why it makes Darkseer one of the better long lane heroes. You really need to dedicate at least 2 or even 3 heroes to shut him down. You can see that that's why Arzar on the top lane is constantly chilling there. So Black is doing what basically what 2 people is doing by himself. So in a sense, even though he's down behind in terms of creep kills, I feel like he's a little bit more effective for his team right now. Sing Sing not too happy with the spiking. This is a LAN event, so shouldn't have too much bike. Uh-oh, Arzar walking into the enemy territory, walking up a hill behind like this. It's going to be big trouble. The Gush is going to hit, and I do believe the Twin Dragon should get the kill here. Very good job by them. Right now, the early game power of GD Studios to be feared. As you guys might have heard me say earlier, GD Studio needs to knock down a couple of towers early, because once the mid game hits for Twin Head, or excuse me, for the Batrider, for the Void, for the Windrunner, for the Arzard, as well as Pudge, they are going to be totally offensive. So right now you see multiple teleportation scrolls coming in for Na'Vi. They do not want to give up any early game tower without a fight. And of course Dendi having a really tough time. Despite of that, already have a bottle, and of course boots up. He's going to be going for Urn, I imagine, as well as a cloak for some magical survivability. Bamboo on the top lane here doesn't have too much to show for it by himself. A pair of wards probably being sent to them by his teammate. Will be dropping one over here, yeah, to see the incoming ganks, but he does not see a smoked up Arzard. Yes, he does. Chrono, no Chrono. Good map awareness here by Arzard. Again, these guys are excuse me, good map awareness by Bamboo, dodging what could have been a fatal gank, and Arzard just in an awkward position. Still level 4.5, can't really do too much. Hook on the mid lane, he will be missing here for Dendi. No big deal for him. He will keep throwing those hooks, because every time you get a successful hook in, you are very likely to get a kill. Here comes GD Bear team looking in to push a little bit more. These are some of the better combinations of a pushing creeps. Oh, they should be able to. Who Sentry Ward is this? Oh, they could be checking up on the high ground here, and will be denying this ward. As this, we'll see that. Back on the top lane here, looks like they're trying to make a go here on Bamboo. Bamboo should be fine, and the entire gank squad here is coming from GD. GD is leading already, 4 kills, goal advantage about 1,000. Not too much to write home about. Because Windrun is farming at least decently on the bot lane. I mean, she's got 30 on the long lane. That's very respectable. But Darkseer, of course, got 30 himself with just the help of Iron Shell. Kuroki farming very well as well. You gotta say the Radiant is leading those both in terms of farm as well as hero kill, and they want a little bit more tower. This will be the first tower, I imagine, unless Dendi and his squad, all 5 TPs in right now. GD Studios playing their lineup as it's expected to be played, as it should be played. Doing a very good job. Who's going to get the last hit is going to be Darkseer. Now, one thing that I haven't talked too much about is this solo mid-tie hunter. The reason that most team likes to do a solo mid-tie hunter is that you get him very farm, you get him very tanky, and you get that access into a quick ravage. As you guys might know, the 6.75 parity patch has nerfed the projectile travel time of Tie Hunter's ultimate a little bit, so getting early level and getting early level 11 will be very key. Dendi looking for the hook here, but Arzard just standing his way, blocking for most of it. Sing Sing not too afraid. The hook will be missing right now. Of course, Kuroki sees it coming with the help of this Observer Ward. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of attempts to get kills from both teams. We saw the dive on the top lane here against Bamboo. We saw the multiple gank path on the mid lane against Dendi. But for the most part, I mean, there's little action, at least on the Na'Vi side. They're trying to get kills, but they can't. These guys are just sticking so close together. Firefly is going to be used for a little bit of tower defense. The tower already almost into deny range. So right now, GDBR team should be somewhat careful. Now, GDBR team is not charging up the ramp like this because they're afraid of a teleportation scroll from the Faceless Void. Sure, you might have your Ravage, and that's very, very powerful. But a Chronosphere, a well-placed Chronosphere from Havos will be kind of detrimental. And Havos is one of those players that will definitely come in here and help out with his carry. He's not shy to do so. As I say that, yes, he does. He definitely does have that. Teleport scroll. And of course, has his power threats finished. Now, most other Void player will be rushing a Battle Fury, will be skipping the teleport scroll. But again, Havos, one of those players that loves to join his team early on, protect his early towers, join those early team fights. Most other teams would have been down a lot more kills and perhaps a lot more tower than Na'Vi right now. But because of Na'Vi's defensive style, at least in the early get-go of the game, they are okay. Now, one of the other things I want to point out about Dendi's Pudge play here, if you haven't watched too many other Pudge players, is that Dendi loves to buy Smoke of Deceit for himself. He doesn't ask his support to buy for him. And it's only 100 gold, and if you are getting a kill for yourself, it has more than enough pay for it. It allows you to bypass river wards, which is very, very key. And of course, even if just smoke yourself in the mid lane, just stand here. When they do not see you across the ground during the daytime vision, that's simply more than enough to get you a successful hook and of course get you a very, very successful kill. So if you're trying out playing Pudge, definitely consider buying a couple of smoke for yourself. Again, not too big of an investment, and when it does work, you get yourself more than enough gold to pay for that smoke. GDCO still need to do more action. They have pushed down one top tower, but I don't think it's enough. The entire team is going into the enemy territory with a big smoke, and they want to backstab this Pudge, or excuse me, Arzard. But will they be able to? They're walking in, they're edging in. They will see Arzard, and Arzard, uh-oh, he's in big trouble. Will be going on the right side. Surge is coming on. They want to vacuum Arzard backwards. Gush and the vacuum, and I do believe Arzard will be dead. Just kidding. He's gonna jet hook, and he should be fine. No, he is gonna just at least delay this kill for much, much longer. Here comes Puppey. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. Another hook attempt, but the huge ultimate here from Black will get the kill. Pudge is looking for the hook. Unfortunately, Puppey blocks himself. A little bit of miscommunication here and there, and the transition of the push will be happening on the bot lane here. Chen Creep, of course, still very, very healthy in terms of HP. Power shot here from Light of Heaven, slowing down this push. Siege unit tanking on the front line as well. I just don't think that GD could get the push going on, but they will try. Flat Cannon beginning to get max as they're doing a lot of damage. Surge in here. Will he use a Ravage? Nice flame break, pushing it back. I do believe, no! Big hook here from Dendi. Finds himself Bamboo, isolating one hero, getting a quick kill. Will this tower get glyphed? Yes, it will. And I do believe will it get denied. They're gonna be at least trying to do so right now. Teleportation coming in. Shackle Shot, that's gonna miss. Chen Creep is gonna get a kill, but the hook is gonna find Sing Sing. Sing Sing will find the Ravage as well. Rocket jumps in right now. That's a 3-man Chrono. They're focusing on Black. He's mostly the squishiest hero, and I think he's gonna get sent back. No sent back just yet. Light of Hand Shackle Shot is gonna grab two, and Havos down to very low HP. Hook comes in right now from Dendi. He finds himself Alex. Oh, Havos still surviving, He will survive. Dendi, meanwhile, kills the Twin-Head Dragon. Jump back here. Kuroki looking for the kill. He will have Test of Fate cooldown. And Test of Fate. Yes, Test of Fate here. Kuroki on a killing spree kill. Meanwhile, Puppey running away from Black. Did he buy back? Not too sure. I think he survived that and healed up. But he's very, very full mana. I'm pretty sure he has buyback. Woodman is back alive with the buyback as well. Looking for a Shackle. How did Dendi get here with the Invisrune? Dendi got himself a hook kill, and now he's looking for more. Dendi already got 3 kills so far in this particular team fight. I can't mind that he got Bamboo right from the get-go. He got Alex just right now on the Twin. His Shackle Shot, not gonna get particularly dodge here. Punch hook, that's gonna be the 4th hook in this particular team fight. Dendi still finding the mana to be effective here right now. Dendi still has 8 magic wand charges, could be popping him right now. He has to pop it. He will have the 5th hook in this particular team fight. Will be turning around. Commit suicide. My god, Dendi, you are too good. And here we go. Alex will be dropping as well. And I do believe Puppey will be surviving. Dendi buys back, and that's gonna be, he's gonna be teleporting back. But I do believe this buyback was not gonna do too much of anything, as the team fight has already ended. 5-1 was the score previously. Now 9-9. This game is already heating up. We have 18 kills in 16 minutes, and Dendi, he sees Sing Sing, and I don't think Sing Sing realized the buyback has already been done. Maybe he does. He's juking to the south. Oh, Dandy, he's looking for the hook. He will be hooking this. The hook will hit, and he will dismember right now. Of course, the Kraken Shell will dispel the dismember, but not enough to help him survive. Dandy, 7-3-0 so far. He is only 70% of the kills on the dire side. Oh my god, this is absolutely insane. Ooh, look at this. Power Treads up here on Pudge. Not too sure why you want the Power Treads. Most likely just wanted to get a little bit tankier because there's a lot of tanky heroes on the Radiant side, which makes sense that Dandy has to do a little bit more rot chasing. So the extra strength here you do get from the Power Tread is going to be very, very helpful. Still don't see that cloak just yet, and that cloak will be very, very key for his survivability as well. Of course, upgrading to Power Tread does give you some slight extra movement speed, so you know it's decent. It's decent. Not exactly the most common boot choice. Common boot choice things like Tranquil Boots, Phase Boots. Arcane Boots is not too bad either here, as of course Pudge runs into mana issue a little bit. But really, it doesn't matter what boot choice you're having right now. All it matters is whether you're landing those hooks. And boy, Dandy is definitely landing those hooks. On the top lane here, Puppey finds Sexy Bamboo here. Chronosphere is going to be used, and I do believe Bamboo will be dead. Look at the damage coming out from Hovos. Very close to the battlefield being finished. The treads being a big part of the damage output here. You know, Pudge sending a Lucian on the top lane, just scouting things out. And we're going to see a little bit more of a kind of a chill mid game here as all those team fight hex expended everybody's buyback. People want to go back and farm a little bit more. And I think this favors the Dire team a little bit here. Of course, when you have a Faceless Void and you have only lost 3 tier 1 towers, you're fine. Now, obviously, Na'Vi still a little bit behind in terms of gold right now, considering that they haven't been pushing down that many towers. But they're down 3 towers, so the Radiant team should be leading by 3,000 gold. They're not even leading by 1,000. This goes back to how well they're farming right now. Leading by 115 creep kill is Void. And of course, how well they're doing during that mid-game recovery. Meanwhile, what has Black's been doing? Black's got 2,700 gold in the bank. Still no commitment in terms of any type of item. Pudge looking on top lane here. He sees the courier go by right now. Hook. It's just going to get a range creep. Or creep. He's going to deny that, I imagine. No. It's going to just leave that and jetpack out of there. And look at this. Again, delivery of the smoke. Reuses it immediately and is looking for more. Haste Rune is going to be running out in just about a couple more seconds. Meanwhile, finally push happening on the top lane here. Ward's going to get dropped, and that he's going to just leave after the ward gets dropped, and that's going to give Hovos' tower. He's going to try to last it. He is going to get the last of it. Meanwhile, Dandy still smoking up. Black in big trouble right now. Black, he will discover the Pudge behind him, and he's going to drop the rocket. He will not be dropping the rocket. He is dead for sure. Batrider gets himself the kill right now. Look at how effective the roaming gank here it is. Of course, the smoke usage from here, the wards gets dropped here, and immediate teleport to the tier 2 from Marzar to assist the gank. Great communication here from Na'Vi, and they're totally dominating in this mid-game control, leading by 3 kill now. Of course, Hovos, with this Battlefield finish, will be putting him a lot of pressure on the top lane here. Tower already down to half HP. This is yet another tower will be destroyed. As I smoke, maybe a little bit too soon, Hovos will be jumping to the left and teleport out. Vacuum will cancel the TB. Nicely done here by Bamboo. Chronosphere, though, he is going to go for 1 kill. Hand of God. Maybe a Test of Faith sandbag. Yes, Test of Faith sandbag as well. They do find Hovos and actually drew out a Chronosphere usage. Great play here, Superman. We have a kind of a courier party up in this as they're looking for each other. Oh, they are going to find Alex, and I do believe Alex, ooh, he is going to get hooked as well into a bite. Pudge is going to find himself yet another kill. No cloak. Yeah, he's going to just go full into a Black King bar mode. As magical resistance, great, but magical immunity a little bit better. A little bit better. Dandy's just going entirely for it, and it's going to basically have pretty much dominant rune control at this point in the game, simply because at this point right now, if you're on the GD Bear team, you're very, very afraid to go anywhere alone. So you're moving as 2 and 3. Oh, the hook comes in right now. It finds Sing Sing. Sing Sing baits out the Ravage, trying to get a he was S-canceling the Ravage, trying to bait out a couple spells, and S-cancel it ultimately. Good use of the S-canceling. Then he pops a rune, and we'll be hooking for some creeps using that mana regen, of course, you get from the regen rune. Gyrocopter, still no show in terms of what he's going to be getting. Up to 3k gold right now. Would have enough for a Shadow Blade if he's going to try to opt for it. Now, Shadow Blade does give you very decent attack speed, which synergizes decently with Flat Cannon. Damage is very nice as well. Of course, it makes him more of a engagement beast, as he is able to kind of zoom in and out of team fight, dodge spells, dodge projectile, things of that nature. But I do believe this is more going to be more of a carry build. And if you're going for carry Gyrocopter, low Darts is not really what you want. You didn't want things like Manta Style, you want things like pure damage items. And he's so far not tipping it. There you go. It is going to be a low Darts. Alright, so something different from Black. The hook comes in right now against Bamboo. Shackle Shack going to be used. And they're trying to nuke him down. Bamboo will survive. Gets mech'd up here. And here we go. Blink Dagger from Sing. What a counter gank here. And here we go, Blink Dagger initiation from the Bat Rider, but he's got to run as well. In fact, he wants to fight this. He wants to bring Black backward, but he does have the low Dart's edge, so he is going to be using it right now. Look at the offensive play here from Puppey. He knows that Pudge is going to be buying back. Meanwhile, Puppey, Firefly will be running out very, very soon. Still without Ravage. They are going to get yet another kill. Blink in here from Chronosphere. He does have the cleave damage. Look at the damage here we have some happening so far here. Oh, Bamboo's going to get hooked as well. The rock damage coming right now. The bite is going to get the kill. Meanwhile, Havos has went down though. Now Dandy's on the run, and I do believe they have overcommit. Blink back in from Sing Sing. They will see Dandy, and he's trying to rot Suicide. Will not get it. Wow. Navi, overcommittance or whatever, miscommunication, whatever you call it, they came in one by one by one by one, and suddenly everybody is dying. But meanwhile, on the mid lane here, as we do see Arza trying to threaten to push down that tier 2, forces out a couple of teleports to grow, but I don't think that will be enough to save this particular tower. As right now, GD with Chen creeps will be mowing this one down. This game is just simply back and forth. Both teams making slight mistake here and there, with over-aggression, with over-commitment, and you know, maybe feeling safer than they really are, but really exciting European Dota that we're seeing right now. Of course, you gotta keep in mind that if you're Pudge, if you're Dandy, he's bought back multiple times, finally picks up a cloak, deciding that he cannot finish the BKB too quick. If you're buying back multiple times, I mean, you are going to slow down your Black King bar. Now, one thing about Pudge is that he's not very much so an item-dependent hero. So, if you're playing Pudge in the mid-game, and if you feel the need to buy back, especially to join back team fights that are still ongoing, man, buy back. You know, you're going to find yourself more killing opportunities. Because even though it gives you a huge glaring message in the middle of the screen as well as a big sound, a lot of times, throughout the hecticness of a team fight, a lot of people just forget that, you know, somebody bought back. You know, the Pudge bought back. One of the more dangerous heroes, of course, to buy back on. Void does not have his Chronosphere ready just yet, and the Radiant team, though, do they have the Ravage ready? It's going to be down for 30 seconds, so it's going to be somewhat difficult for GDC though, to storm it into the Roshan pit. Blink Dagger initiation, they want Bamboo, they gotta kill Bamboo as soon as possible. Oh, they miss. Are we going to have a bite? Vacuum backwards here, the wall gets dropped down here. I think Bamboo has done his work, used most of the spells, and did a huge amount of damage to these guys. Mech up here, and Windrunner gets trapped in. It's going to get bashed. The Ice Wall will find him right now. Ravage is going to be back up in 11 seconds. Chronosphere going to use. They want to focus on killing Sing Sing. Hook backwards here on Alex. Can you kill Alex? That's a question. Mask of Madness gets popped. Havos still survives right now. Meanwhile, Black doing massive right-click damage with Black Cannon. He's going to try to go back out. Do they have detection? Do they have detection? Dandy looking for the hook. Dandy misses a hook barely, and now Sage. Oh, Black's going to come out right now. Look at the huge rocket damage. Has he leveled up? No, he has not right now, and Dandy's on the run, but that rocket, he will chase you. He's going to turn back around and hook, I imagine, or he's going to try to survive it. I really don't think he will. Once the rocket hit, and there we go, the rocket barrage will finish it off. Meanwhile, though, Navi has lost a significant amount of their heroes as well. Of course, the Mask of Madness will allow you to do a lot more damage, of course, but you die quicker as well, and Black definitely focus on the Void. Could hardly say who is winning right now. On one hand, you have Navi, who has a stronger mid game as well, in my opinion, the late game advantage. Once Void finishes Black King bar, there's little to nothing that the entire Radiant team could do about it. What are you going to do? Vacuum and right click, I guess? Vacuum and try to Ravage? It's going to be very, very difficult once Black King bar is up on the Void. Now, Black's got to start doing massive DPS. He is going to pick up a mid-throw hammer. I'm not sure what that exactly is for. There is a possibility that it could be Desolator. I don't believe it should be Desolator. I mean, minus armor and the damage is great, but you really want to stay on the back line if you're playing Gyrocopter and use that extra range that you're getting from Flat Cannon and basically right-click the hell out of the entire enemy team. Maelstrom? Maelstrom is another very awkward choice because it only works on the thing that you're particularly attacking. And then, as you guys know, Gyrocopter, you don't want to be in the team fight. His attack range is very, very low. So my guess is going to be a Black King bar, but Black King bar against a Dismember, against a Flaming Lasso, against a Hook, as well as a Faceless Void. There's plenty enough ways on Navi's side to kind of render that BKB to be somewhat ineffective. So it's going to be a very curious choice to see what Black end up actually getting. Looks like they're going to try to do it. Yet another smoking here. Ravage is up, and of course Blink Dagger has been up for a long time here on Sing Sing. They're looking for a pickoff, and Void senses something is amiss. Too many people is missing off the map to be too safe of farming. So do look towards him to actually back off after this particular wave. And well, maybe he does have time walk. No, he's going to back off. Void is going to be hitting level 16, and that's going to be very, very crucial for him, as he will be hitting 5-second cooldown, or excuse me, 5-second chronospheres, which is pretty legitimate stuff. Which, by the way, if you're playing, in a pub game you're playing Void, do actually try to accept it once in a while on a Void game, because 6-second disable on the entire team and lowering the cooldown drastically is a pretty big game as well. I'm not advocating that he will be that Havos will be getting here. I'm just simply suggesting that you guys should try it out, because it's definitely a very, very fun build. Dandy is going to be finishing his Blacking Bar in just about 1500 gold, but I don't think he really has a room or place or time to farm, because GD Studio is constantly poking and prodding, looking for ways to go for kills. BKB is finished, so that's what he's going for. And suddenly Gyrocopter becomes a hugely tanking beast, and that will force the Chronosphere, or at least a Dismember, to be dropped on him. And to be honest, Chronosphere is really the only way, the only reliable way to lock down a Gyrocopter. I mean, you can Dismember, that's definitely true, but you got to keep in mind that you don't really want to run right in against a Gyrocopter and against melee range, because you are going to get owned by his teammates. Also, Flaming Lasso is decent, but again, it's very, very low in terms of range, so not too reliable. It's got to be the Chronosphere, and if you're locking down Gyrocopter and Chronosphere, which is good, you're not locking down the Dark Seer, nor are you locking down the Tai, so it's going to be somewhat of an awkward situation here for the Void to actually land a good Chronosphere, unless GD's just clumps the hell out of everything. Then just looking for the hook, not going to find it. A free tier 2 gets claimed here by GD Steel, but it's not free. There's no such thing as a free lunch, as Havos already pressuring and pushing on the top lane. Did a couple of hundred damage here to the tower, and will be forcing Black's TP, in which case I think they can go into Roshan. They know that Black has TP, and it's going to take him a while to reinforce. In fact, that's exactly what they're doing right now. Jumping in, Mask of Madness, Wards gets dropped in. They want to bring this down as soon as possible. These guys are smoking up. They are trying to go into the pit. They know that that's exactly where Navi is right now. It all comes down to how many times that the Roshan is bashing Havos, because every time you bash Havos, you are stopping his DPS output by quite a bit, and it looks like these guys are already here. Bamboo in position. He's looking for a vacuum, trying to bring them up to a high ground. Blinking. Where's the Sing Sing Ravage? Yes, he will be on top of everybody right now. Havos will be dropping right now. Who gets the Aegis? Nah, denies the Aegis. Immortal is a Bat Rider. No room for him to pick it up. Was that a BKB? Is going to be used here by Gyrocopter. Is there going to be a buyback on the Void? No buyback. And he's going in right now. Getting a little bit of MS bonus here from the Shadow Blade. And Dendy will be going down as well. GD Studio gets off a huge snipe. Of course, since the Aegis Immortal went to nobody, that was a very, very expensive tower kill. You could say that, since, well, they did get 1,000 gold from that. But nothing else in particular. Another team wipe. Well, not really a team wipe, but they did lose 2 heroes. I'm very, very curious how heroes like Arzard, as well as Winram made it out alive. I'm sure the Force Staff and the Mech was a big part of that. But a very, very successful team fight in the favor of the Radiant side. They unfortunately got away for a little bit of cooldown. As these guys, without the Ravage, not exactly a terrifying force, especially once Chronosphere is backed up, or Chronosphere is back up, once Faceless Void is alive. So, despite winning a very, very heavy team fight, all they really could have done is grab a tier 2, which they did. But I really love the response here coming from Navi. Look at the item purchase coming from a support Shadow Shaman, just jumping up, trying to find a Blacking Bar. A lot of support player out there is like, oh, let me find infinite drums, let me get a Force Staff for myself, something like that. But he knows what the real answer to this team fight is, which is the Blacking Bar. He does have it finished right now. How's the Pudge doing? Pudge is still 600 gold, 500 gold away from the Blacking Bar. Void, he's a little bit far away from the BKB, but, you know, considering that he's getting most of the farm, he will find the BKB sooner or later. And here's the thing, if you're GD Studio, you gotta finish the game quick, because once those BKBs are up, all you have is that 6 charges of Flat Cannon on the Radiant side to really do damage once you're magically immune. And to be honest, GD Studio will be committing to this push, or at least they won't be doing so until the Ravage comes off cooldown, which it is going to be on cooldown in 25 seconds. Here we go. Bamboo feeling very brave. Bamboos did not have the best of game. 3-5-6 is the score, but overall it's been fairly effective. Every time before he dies, he's dropping spells, creating a lot of havoc. Blinking here from Sing Sing. Look at how offensive he's playing right now. Ravage wasn't even up, but will be up in this next team fight. Here we go. Who is in position? That is going to be Havos. Does he have anything in the bank? Does have 1 Mithril Hammer. I imagine that's his. I don't imagine that's... It could be Dendy's. No, Dendy still have that 1200 gold. Another free tower gets picked up here. At this point, with Ravage backed up, I think GD Studio feeling a lot more confident in terms of where they could go, a lot more confident in terms of the team fight selection. And meanwhile, Arza trying to push on the bot lane, at least draw one teleport scroll. And if they do draw one teleport scroll, we might see, let's say, Void TPs in right now and try to start off a team fight. But they're actually taking a lot of their time. There's only 3 people in the base defending right now. I also would love the way that Na'Vi is trying to turtle this one out. A lot of teams, when they're turtling, they have all 5 in base, which it means you're not getting any farm. But look, you know, got 1 on the bot lane forcing out TPs, 1 on, 2 on the bot lane, excuse me, 1 in jungle and farming away. So yeah, they're turtling, they're defending, but they're not losing too much gold. Volts will be BKB will be flying in, I imagine. Yes, that is a completed BKB. So again, my question is, what is GD Studio gonna do once the BKB is finished? They gotta know that BKB is gonna be the item choice. They've seen these ogre clubs. They've seen the already finished BKB in the Arzart. So what are they waiting for? That's a question. I think they're waiting for a pick. Now, with that said, you saw how difficult it was for them to go into the high ground against the Na'Vi squad. Power shots, things like Flame Break, the Pudge constantly hooking you. Yeah, it's going to be somewhat difficult going the high ground, and I do believe Na'Vi is going to be having a significant late game advantage in a very non-Na'Vi-esque way, right? Na'Vi generally is the aggressor. They don't like to play defense. Oh, Havos. Oh my gosh, Sing. I think he might have saw Havos, and Havos should be fine with the jump. He's going to pop a Mask of Madness and try to jet his way out there. Bamboo is not going to find him. Bamboo, aside from his vacuum, doesn't have anything like Hex or Cyclone or any kind of disruption, so would not be able to stop that Void. Farm check time. BKB's up, BKB's up. Windrunner going for 4-stab, don't need his BKB, of course. BKB up, so we have 4 BKB, I imagine. Bad's going for as well. Yes, 4 Black King Bar to go difference. Again, nothing to write too much about. A Dire leading in terms of a little bit of EXP, which goes back to what I talked about earlier. 5-man pushing on the top lane on the Radiant side, 3-man defending, 2 people farming in the lane in jungle. So that's why the Dire team leading in terms of a little bit in terms of EXP. Let's check out how we're doing in terms of net worth. Neck and neck is Black as well as Havos, but the next highest is a Kuroki Chen. Interesting. He's picked up mostly support items, so nothing too big to show for it. If you, let's say he has Acceptor finish, that would have been huge, or something like a Shiva's, or maybe even Hex if he has enough go for that. But right now he's very, very high in net worth, which showed that he's been jungling a lot. The other jungler, ironically, is Puppey. He's got a lot of net worth as well. This has been a very, very slow game, so it doesn't surprise me to see that the jungler is actually getting a lot more farm because they're not really rotating lane all the time right now. Both teams smoked up right now, and they will respell. Oh, BKB not being popped too fast on Havos, and he will go down because of a huge misplay. Arza has popped his own BKB. Dendy pops his BKB and trying to stay stable. Black with no damage output here. Misplay from Havos will cost him this mid-team fight, and all of the BKB, the 10-second BKB charges, and that's a huge win here from GD Studio. Ravage is used right now, but with 3 people dead, they will go on the high ground. Big blink in here from Sing Sing, no hesitation, and just let everybody have it right now. Black, of course, because he had Black King Bar, even though he was locked down by the Dismember, did not care because most of the damage was magical damage without the Void. Tower focusing on Black a little bit right now, trying to bravely defend on itself, but not going to be enough. Shackle shot onto 2, but blink here, Shiva trying to focus on Puppey. Puppey will get 4-staff out and Windrunner out herself. It is the Windrunner, but at this point here, this tower not being protected at about 20 seconds to bring it down. Glyph already being used. Power shot, Flame Break, pushing everything back. I think they are going to get a tier 3 tower at the very least, but might have to back off once the Void's coming back alive. Backing backwards here to get... Oh, Ice Path. No, the rocket will be flying in. Shackle shot onto one hero. Uh-oh. Light of Heaven's got to be careful, but they are going to back off now. The blink in here from the BKB. Chronosphere gets 2. They find Kuroki as well as Sakura as well as Bamboo. Are they going to find Alex? Yes, they are going to get Alex. But no, he's going to jump in one more time for the last. And meanwhile, looks like Bamboo's going to get hooked right in by Dendy. Great play here by Dendy. Locks himself down. Meanwhile, they find more. Why are these guys not backing out? I want to say that's a Pyrrhic victory for Na'Vi because they lost a tier 3 tower, but yeah, it worked out just fine. I thought once the tier 3's down, they should have just backed up. GD Studio feeling a little bit too confident, and they pay very, very dearly. Thankfully for them, Black has made it out there, but that was 3 or 4 kills that you don't need the Void or his team to pick up for free. literally for free, and that's going to be a tier 2 as well. Both teams making huge mistakes. Of course, Hvo's not popping his BKB against the Ravage, and of course, the Radiant team staying a little bit too far behind, or taking far too long, and definitely pay for it. And this tier 2 should be focused down by Hvo's anytime he decides to turn on it, and there you go. And now suddenly, this game chart is just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The XP lead is on the Dire, and this is where having Pudge becomes very, very important. Suddenly, any hook that you land right now is simply an instant tower, simply an instant of correct one team fight. Because again, 5v4, especially when you have team fight of Void, is legitimate. It's very, very legitimate. Time stopper mace, okay. Always constantly checking out on people's gear. Of course, if you've been noticed, Dendi has this Dragon Claw hook. Yeah. All these pro players have people giving them items, especially Dendi. I'm not sure whether pro players even buy their own items because I have so many fans giving them items. But hey, you know, things like this actually help to promote more item purchases by regular users. So they're saying like, oh, Dendi has a Dragon Claw hook. I want to use the Dragon Claw hook and be like Dendi. Newsflash: you can get the Dragon Claw hook, but it doesn't come with like, the aimbot that Dendi has built in his brain right now. Mask of Madness, Black King Bar, and Battle Fury finish on Faceless Void. Looking for him to actually save or buy back here, as there's really no reason to get an item. I think his DPS is more than enough in this particular stage in the game. But with that said, let's quickly check out how we're doing in terms of items. Shiva's has been complete in the last couple team fights, been using it as well. Jump out here to start defending the base. Butterfly is finished on Black, so MKB will be a very good late game item. Hex is going to be attempted on KuroKy, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a decent 4-stat, but that's it. Blink Dagger, BKB, massive BKB. Look at 4 BKB, and that's mostly it on the Dire side as well. So both teams not actually having a lot of items to show for. Aside from Black, Black's like insanely farmed at this point in the game. Net worth, he is leading, but still very, very close, neck and neck with the Void. Void has been dying a couple more times in the team fight though. Here we go, both teams very, very tentative. Again, in this particular stage of the game, having a Pudge is very, very good, especially when you could land those hooks. Landing hook is kind of a one team fight in a sense. Now, with that said, if you hook in the Darkseer, not exactly a great hook target. If you hook in a Tide, not exactly a great hook target. So, he's got to be somewhat careful when he's lobbing those blind hooks. Teams are still very, very tentative. Blink Dagger, level 16 on the Darkseer. KuroKy on the front line. KuroKy should really stay back, because if KuroKy gets initiated on early and they kill him, you're missing 400 HP heal, 250 HP heal. That's 600 AoE HP heal. That's insane. So KuroKy, gotta be somewhat careful when he's playing. He's playing hook, goes in right now. It's gonna miss, but the Chronosphere, that will hit on Sing Sing. The vacuum misses, the wall will hit. They want to focus on Black, and the Shackle goes on him as well. Can they actually kill anything? Nobody actually dies. They're so tanky at this point right now. They want to get Chen. They will get Chen, I imagine. Yep, there's a hook in, one more hit. They are gonna do it right now. But there's a Ravage. Where's the Black? Black actually pops the BKB, trying to run out, but there's detection. I think there's detection. No, they do not kill him right now. Buy back here from Light of Heaven. He's coming back in full HP. Alex trying to run out here. Force himself out. There's a 4-stat forward. Shackle shot. They're gonna latch. Not gonna latch here. Alex trying to survive. Not gonna survive. Meanwhile, though, where's the Void? The Void's just killing everything right now. Oh, hook back in here to save him from that freaking Furbog. That teamfight looked very, very ugly. I'm actually gonna watch that teamfight one more time. I'm not clearly sure how they actually won this, and I do apologize if you guys dislike the rewind, but like, there was simply no damage coming out against Sing Sing. So alright, we're gonna see Void jumping in from the left side. This is where the educational part of the commentary comes in, I suppose. Alright, here we go. Pull this. Alright, Chrono. He's popping the BKB, trying to focus on KuroKy. KuroKy's tanking as heck. He's gonna pop the Hand of God. Hand of God, mech. Yeah, that's why there was no Woody dead. They could not kill KuroKy from the beginning of the team fight. Which they should have. And then, of course, Black trying to fight everybody. Black couldn't kill anything, though. Has to Loldar back out. He was losing a lot of HP. Good job by Pudge. Mow him down earlier. So, kind of a ugly team fight in the sense that not many people getting focus fire, not many people dying overall. But still, a very successful team fight here from Na'Vi. And like not too big of a surprise, considering that they do have Void as a late game. They have 4 Black King Bar against a primarily magic-based lineup. So, yep, they're gonna jump into the Roshan pit and get a free Aegis. And then at this point here, once you have the free Aegis being picked up here on Vols, can I get it? There you go. The text lasts on the screen for a long time. Once you get the free Aegis on the Void, yeah, I don't think they could kill Void twice. They might have killed him once through his Mask of Madness and, you know, the debuff. But a second time will be exceptionally difficult, especially when he gets the last hit on the Roshan. He'll be very, very close to Monkey King Bar, in which case even Black will be in a little bit of trouble. Because you gotta keep in mind, BKB does not protect you from the Chronosphere, neither does it protect you from the bashes. So in that instance, once he's not going to be missing you against your butterfly evasion, Hvost will be able to lock down the Gyrocopter very quickly. Also, the extra damage that you're getting from the MKB, very, very important, as he saw he had difficulty killing Kuroki, killing a Chen. I mean, Chen is absurdly tanky at this point. 19 armor with 1500 HP, and if you don't kill him outright, he will have things like Mech and Hand of God, which he did use for himself earlier. At this point, Light FM still doesn't have too much item to show for. He's simply been buying back multiple times throughout these team fights. Bought back, sorry, did I say multiple times throughout this team fight? Must be thinking YYF 3 buyback storm, or 3 buyback in a row storm. But no, he can buy back multiple times in a single team fight anymore. Or at least they must be long ass team fights if you could. Actually, that makes no sense. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. Sing Sing blinking around right now. Ooh, Kuroki, Shackle onto 2. Chrono is gonna pop BKB right now. Look at Kuroki die so very quickly right now. Can he flame lasso him? Can he flame lasso? No flame lasso necessary. The hook barely misses. He's like, yo, bro, puppy, you miscommunicate with me right now. But look at the pick. 3 kills for nothing right now. And I do believe Na'Vi will be taking game number 1. Buyback's gonna be used right now, but they really need everybody, and more importantly, they need everybody plus that Ravage, which they will have momentarily right now. I think the only remaining hope right now for GD Studios is they have to get a Divine Rapier on Gyrocopter. I'm not even kidding. At this point, there's so much single target lockdown. There's so much just lockdown in general. That Gyrocopter, he just have to kill everybody and kill everybody through the usage of that flat cannon. And I gotta say, what better way to do it is to just go Divine Rapier. I don't think you could kind of grind out the Na'Vi team and go for a late game victory. Look at this, such a late game smoke. Looking for a hook, looking for a hook. I think you gotta just go for a Hail Mary shot, but unfortunately, Gyrocopter doesn't even have the goal, nowhere near the goal of getting a Divine Rapier. They're trying to struggle, defend against this Ravage on top of everybody right now. Hvost does have the Aegis, so he doesn't need to use a BKB right now. Hvost will use his Aegis right now. Mech gets used, he should be fine. 4-stab outwards, and uh-oh, he's back! He's back! 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. Kuroki trying to heal everybody back up, but the bash is keeping him in place. And that's 1 kill. They find Bamboo. Bamboo not getting bashed in. Dendi in a little bit of trouble as well. Dendi should pop the Ghost Scepter. He does vacuum backwards. Very, very low. They're still surviving. And Hvost, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3, 4, 5. Power Shot is going to claim the kill. Jumps in right now. Chronosphere just being used on 1. Black on the outskirts of that Chronosphere is trying to kill down Puppey. But Puppey is so very tanky at this point. Using the low dart, trying to get the last hit. But Hvost just outlasting the entire team. And that's got to be GG. 1 Rax is going to go down in the middle, and the second lane of Rax is going to go down very quickly. Hvost just ignoring Sing Sing at this point here. No need to even look at him. Sing Sing realizing that he's not going to defend, at least not by himself. Just has to give up that free mid bot Rax. And the question is, will Hvost go mid? And the answer is yes, they will go mid. The chief support here on the back line, so very weak. Oh, but they flame lasso him right now. Of course, Kraken Exterior will proc it. Bashes, bashes, right hits, bashes, no bashes. Boom! There's a time lock bash, and Hvost will get the monster kill streak. Another kill going in the favor. Now Chen is back alive. Chen can't do anything about it though. Dendi, of course, on the mid lane, and they do have to earn to heal up everybody. They will have mech coming off cooldown for Windrunner in just a bit. And that is going to be the second lane of Rax. Very, very dominating performance on both teams, but Na'Vi having the better late game composition and having very, very good item purchases. All the BKBs came out at the end. I want to just say that the gold distribution on the Radiant side was not exactly the best. I think Darkseid needed to be a lot tankier. You really need to have a Shiva's finish, maybe have a Hex finish. Sing Sing got very, very farm, but he's a TIE Hunter. Chen got very, very farm, but he's a Chen. So I really believe the farm distribution, and of course the hero was not really where they needed to be. The GD Studio really needed to win the game. Like, I guess 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, they could not do that. And at this point here, it is all but over. No, as I say that though, a very, very good kill, but GG is going to be called. Very, very well played for Navi. They will take the game 1 of this best of 3 series. Not sure I'll be casting any more of this series. Again, put it in the comment section below if you want me to see cast more games from the Star Series ladder. I'll be more than happy to do so if you let me know which are the good games to do so. No spoiler, please. No spoiler, please, because I have not seen the result of the Star Series final yet. Hope you guys enjoyed this particular game, as I will fast forward to... It looks like there's a whole bunch of garbage time. Disconnects. Yep, there we go. Fast forward to the end game menu to let you guys see exactly what all the charts are. Yeah, very, very well played game. Hope you guys enjoy the cast. Until next time, this is Commentary 331. We'll be casting until I hit the 350 mark. Hope you guys enjoyed this cast. This is Luminous signing off. GG, guys.